Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deontay Burton, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. Got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. We're talking about something that I think a lot of people go through each year in regards to having their yearly budgets and yearly goals set out, and they're getting thrown off. And what we're talking about tonight's show is what threw my budget off in 2023. I, like most people, have my little plans and set up for the following year, i.e. being 2023. I pretty much, this year a little funky. Like I think I told you, man, I had 25 goals and things I had set out for the year. I only hit probably out a good 10, 12 of them. I usually get around about 60, 7%. A little bit more. That was around by in that range, but it definitely wasn't the same.
Okay.
There's a couple reasons about it. So what I want to do is just talk with everybody, because right now we're at the beginning of 2024, finna get ready to come around. So everybody's now setting their New Year resolutions, getting their goals and budgets together for 2024. And I want to share with you guys like things that threw mine off in regards to, so if you're getting ready to plan your budget, your goals for 2024, some things you can kind of be mindful of or be planning for just in case they happen.
Okay.
Again, this is the Dollar Hour. I am Deontay Burton, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. You know, the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, where we have over 800 videos covering those particular subjects. In the event you have to leave, coming late, remember, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. You can Google it, Mr. Short Dollar. You'll see this handsome face pop up. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so you can come and check out this whole video in its whole entirety and everything. But there's a lot of great information. We have that.
That's right.
Over 800 videos on the YouTube channel. We got an active grant playlist with over 150 grant opportunities for you guys to take advantage of. But definitely go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and take advantage of the great information we have there. Again, tonight's show we're talking about what threw my budget off in 2023. Before I get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother? Another Thursday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Best
yes,
day
sir.
of the week.
Best day of the week. We actually got one more for the years out there.
Right,
The year of gold show. But this is one before Christmas. So, guys, hope y'all getting ready for your festive holiday season. We'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Right.
But I also give a shout out to mother producer Slick 316. What's up, Reek?
What's going on?
And also got another guest in the studio. He's not on the camera today. My baby boy Will B.
The star last week's superstar. That's right.
We're a little incognito tonight, but we will. But tonight's show, it's a little bit more adult feature, so we'll have to be a part of it. But again, we're talking about what threw my budget off in 2023. Also, guys, remember the call-in number. Feel free to call in if you got any questions, concerns, anything that you want to add to the discussion. The call-in number is 678-740-9894.
That's right.
Again, 678-740-9894. Jared Fields, I chime in when I get off this call. Hey, brother, do that, man. You can call in. Remember the call-in number posted right there. Definitely give a call. I appreciate that, Jared. And again, we're talking about what threw my budget off in 2023. Like I said, I like most people, we have our, we feel good about everything. At the beginning of the year, you're in total control. Why?
Right.
Because nothing has started.
Right.
So you got all the optimism in the world. Hey, I'm going to do
great.
this, and everything. And so tonight, again, we're talking about the budget. So next week, we talk about the goals, so we can get into all the other stuff with the goals. But a lot of stuff in regards to your budget is relatable. We start thinking about things that can throw it off with that, because ideally, we all, from a financial perspective, go into it the usual. I want to decrease my debt. I want to make more money. I want to save some money.
Right.
I might want to put myself in position to get this house, get this car. Everybody typically has the same general stuff, right? And everything. But then as you go through the months and stuff, you get hit with a right hook, then the uppercut, then the jab, and all this other kind of stuff.
And they keep coming.
Oh,
and
Lord.
They keep coming like a battlefield.
Yeah, and so, just with creating a budget is a crucial aspect of financial management. But there are several factors that can throw off the budget, of course, right? And it's essential to be aware of these potential challenges to better plan and adapt your budget. Right now, we're going to go over tonight's show. We're going to talk about some typical things that can throw off your budget. Again, guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. I know only on TikTok is where we can't get the numbers not posted. I couldn't pin it in, guys. I'm sorry. But every other platform, the number to the call-in show should be pinned on, so feel free to call in and add to the discussion, okay?
Okay. Okay.
But again, we start talking about things that can throw your budget off. One of the first things, and it's just everybody, right? We kind of alluded to right now, is those things that throw you off your budget, those unexpected expenses. Emergency or unplanned events, such as equipment breakdowns, medical emergencies, or natural disasters can result in unforeseen expenses that wasn't accounted for in your budget. You know, I've been one of the people I talk about all the time, just having some kind of contingent fund set up, just like for emergencies and stuff like that, right? But my emergency fund number and the reality fund number give me two whole different things,
right?
And I think far too often, man, again, unforeseen expenses, especially accidents, things that are health related or employment related and stuff, especially in this day and age.
Right.
We're restructuring, downsizing, things like that. It make things real funky. And the whole point of, again, for the discussion for tonight's show is, you know, of course I'm sharing things with myself, but also I want to be able to give you guys foresight going in 2024, some things you can kind of just plan for just in case they happen, okay? Because when we draft these actual budgets, remember what I always say, guys, words are one thing, you know, but when we start putting these numbers down and everything, that's the whole point of a budget. The numbers going to keep us accountable.
That's right.
People try to sit there and they'll just arbitrarily say, I want to save $10,000. But the blueprint in regards to how we're going to do that.
Right.
You know, how much I'm going to put it together aside each month, how much I'm going to put aside each week, how much I'm going to put aside each day to actually get to that number. Nobody wants to do that because that's going to do what? Hold us accountable.
Right.
So that's what we try to avoid, and, you know, be straight up with each other on this channel. Like, look, man, you know, we're talking about really put yourself in a good financial position. We ain't talking about doing magic. I ain't talking about no damn Bitcoin or trying to invest in this, that, and that. Like, at the end of the day, it's a struggle.
It's a struggle.
You know, and a lot of times I think people want to wave a wand and get out of that particular situation, but that ain't how life works.
Right.
But I do know a lot of times when people, I think one of the number one things that throws a lot of folks off when they're trying to get themselves in a certain position financially is those unforeseen expenses. Because you think about it, Lab, you can be working and everything be cool, you get laid off. Next thing you know, you got to pull out your 401k.
Right.
And that could be you or a spouse. Children get sick, something like that. Car problems and things like that. You know, especially repairs or things. You know,
something happened at the house.
Yeah, plumbing,
right.
Electrical, and everything. I mean, as long as you living, things gonna happen, right? So. Those are the kind of things that throw off your plans because, you know, you have a solid plan, solid ideas in place. But those things that just pop up are there. But that's why I say, guys, kind of have some kind of fund set up just in case. When we start looking at those budgets where we're funding or we have some money already allocated for the BS of life. That could be my life account, right? You know, so whatever. Keep that in mind. You know, again, so we have, you know, my book is coming out. You know, my financial book, I'm not even going to get a title out, but we're going to be releasing it at the beginning of the year. But I can have drafts up of budgets and giving examples and things like that. And I don't want to go too in depth with it, you know, to get out to the point of the show in regards to how to set up a budget. But guys, you got to make sure we have some kind of money, some idea of something allocated for unforeseen expenses, you know. And again, if you're already going, you know, check to check, dollar for dollar, we're doing certain things. It might be tight to do that. I get it. But we do need to have some kind of plan in place just in case.
Right,
you know, if this fall out, can you catch me with this? If this particular thing happens, I may have to roll over there. And it's not about thinking negative. A lot of times people say, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to put that on my spirit. BS.
Yeah.
Things happen.
I'm that person.
Well, you know, but you
that's
know,
why I can't really add to this conversation. I gotta sit back and listen.
But you know what that though, Lab. We always know it's not if things happen, it's when things happen.
Right.
And so we just want to try to put ourselves to have as much control as possible when the when happens, right? You know, because again, you can't be prepared for everything. But like I say, just in this day and age with layoffs, accidents, you know, things going out and out, just kind of have yourself in a position. That might be a credit card you got to the side that you don't necessarily use for emergency purposes. You know, some kind of thing set up where you just in case. That life account, okay? So that was the first thing we're talking about. Things that can throw off your budget. Like I say, even looking with mine. And we just talked about the first one was unexpected expenses. The second one is fluctuation in your revenue. Change in market conditions, economic downturns, or variations in customer demand can impact your revenue. If revenue projections are not accurate, it can disrupt your budget. And basically, we're just talking about, from in the easy sense, your money coming in and out.
Right.
At the end of the day, just say, depending on where you work at, things coming in, they might be pulling certain hours.
Uh-huh.
They might be looking at cutting back. They might be looking at restructuring. There are a lot of people I know, especially in the corporate sector, they've taken pay cuts because they didn't want to get laid off with the company they're restructuring.
Right.
They're taking whole departments off the books and everything, moving people around. Folks of
especially when they merge, like when companies merge.
Mergers, acquisitions, like say downsizing, sales and things like that. It's a way of life. Some people can benefit for it and get an increase in pay, but a lot of times, you may just stay lateral. But they also have situations where, look, if you want to stay here, you got to take this cut and do that. And depending on what industry you work in, there may be, still somewhat in a recession. We got to cut a couple hours out. We can't do this.
Right.
Especially start talking about, season like that, holiday season. Certain things can come into place. And you might have forecasted your budget, which you making $30,000, $40,000 a year. But in essence, that may have decreased by $5,000, right? And if that $5,000, that's $600 a month. Just off the rip, and that can make a substantial difference in your budget, depending on what it is. That could be a reduction of certain debts you had, other kind of things you want to actually add to a certain fund for it to grow. That can throw a lot of things off, so you got to be very mindful of these particular things. Life funky like that, guys. So we always have to be prepared to adjust and pivot when things happen. I don't want nobody to go through anything. Hell, I don't want to go through things.
Right.
But I can just use myself for example. I forecasted on getting 15 new clients this year. And we hovered around getting 10. But yeah, that done turned to 8 now. So I'm just saying my numbers.
Right. Your numbers get off too.
Yeah, and I'm talking about coming in, coming out. And I'm forecasting these with these people paying on time. That ain't what happened.
Right.
So, and we talking about just straight bookkeeping. I ain't talking about the tax company and everything. Taxes we did pretty good. But I'm just using myself for example. Like, it didn't come in the way I thought it did.
Right.
I put in the actual amount, the actual amount of revenue in advertising and marketing. It just didn't translate into that. Mix some stuff up and everything. Like I couldn't do it. Because you gotta understand something too. Now I ain't finna go down on I wasn't finna go down on my prices.
Right.
And the reason being because y'all know my rule. I charge the fee that if I gotta go back and fix something, I don't feel bad about it.
Right, it's all covered.
Exactly. So when I do something to cut a deal, then I get, I got to go back and fix something, or you get a letter or something like that. I ain't really too cool about doing it. I got to do it, but I ain't too cool about doing it because I didn't charge what I supposed to charge. You feel me? So my price is my price.
Right.
And that's my rule with it. I might kind of, if it's a bigger job, multiple years or something like that, we might work with you. But for the most part, my price. Because again, my thought process in it, and most of the time you don't have to go back and fix it. But when you do, it's a headache because when you have to fix it, it pops up. You got to stop what you're doing to get that straightened out.
Right.
And if you that encourage you want to be like, okay, cool, no problem because they paid you.
Right.
Well, if you turn around like, man, because what we always say, Lab, people expectations do not drop with the price.
Right.
They can pay you crumbs or they can pay you the regular amount. The expectation. Exactly. So I wasn't gonna lower my prices, but definitely didn't expect the income that we was expecting. Some things other things I wasn't expecting to work out, but definitely from the bookkeeping payroll clients, we didn't get what we thought we was gonna get, and everything from a new point. So that was a spot, and I'm still trying to. Again, anything I'm assuming, like, man, the economy, this, that, and that, I might have hit the right niche with the advertising. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still, I think I did. It's just, it didn't happen.
Right. Sometimes it just don't happen.
22 years in the game, I've had some years where we're like, man, this is awesome. I ain't do nothing.
Right.
Damn near like I'm some kind of guru. But then someone you be like, man, you done tried everything, ain't that damn thing working. So I wish I could sit here and say, well, the pinpoint, well, this is what happened, but it doesn't be like that sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say sometimes, it's just like when you look for a job. You don't
Right.
apply to one job. You see your resume out to several people,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, two or three catch fire, one or two call you in for an interview, maybe get a job offer, right? But
Right.
that's over 20, 30
2,000.
pictures. There you go. All the pictures. I'm talking about what you done put out.
Right.
We're doing that, and that's kind of how it is. We're trying to get solicit business. Also, you got when we start again. We're talking about what through your budget off. Kind of cost overruns, and we having this discussion, guys. We're also talking about it from a personal and actual business standpoint. So some of these terms, it's still the same thing as from a personal standpoint that you have a business standpoint. And another one, and then that's why I said the other one would be cost overruns, where some projects or initiatives may experience cost overruns due to unforeseen circumstances, like changes in scope or miscalculation. It's important to closely monitor ongoing projects to prevent exceeding budgeted costs.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about it, when you start wanting to do repairs at your house,
Mm-hmm.
when you start actually doing, you want to get that landscaping thing done, add on another room or something like that. You want to kind of just go through and get some work done on your car. You had that kind of forecast because that's what the man told you last year, but now he done went up on prices.
Right.
Or once they start digging in, they find some more stuff wrong with your car, or they start putting that fear in your heart. Well, if we could do this, just in case, you might want to go on and do that.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. And now something I went into, I thought gonna be 1,500, and it'll be in 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Happens all the time. And those kind of things, like, look, man, I got it, but I had it for something else.
Right.
And again, we're talking about what threw your budget off in 2023, and I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Just dealing with some of my rental properties. That's kind of what I've been going through. Like, look, man, I wasn't expecting that.
At all.
Because I call hell just to get this joke out the house.
Mm-hmm.
So now I done got him out the house. Man, that joker, man, there's some nasty ass people out here. It's some nasty ass. Shout out to
Oh, roguish.
man. They ain't even still. Man, you just get these
They
folks
mad
out
at you
you.
because you putting them out because they ain't
I
paying
ain't even
rent.
put him out, man. I said, go on and get it out, man. And this was just living conditions, man. You be like, for real?
Right.
For real? God, dog, man. God, man, it's a nasty people out here, man. But again, certain things you can go through. I want to, get off subject with
Right.
it. But a lot of times we go into certain things. We're like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna do this and do that, and it happens all the time. One of my projects for next year, I want to get my Cadillac back up and running. My 7A coupe. So I got my money. Yeah, I got my coupe, and I'm saying like, okay, we're doing it, but I know it's gonna be some cost overruns.
Uh-huh.
I know it's gonna be some cost overruns.
Especially when you throw them trues and foes on.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. But real talk though, like you talking about car 37 years old, and you sitting there like, hell, what the hell I'm talking about 37 years old? That car 40, 45 years old.
Years?
78.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Real, except 45 years old.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I've had it 31 years. That's what I'm saying. But let me fix that. But just looking at those particular things, and then you don't even really have a lot of even mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
The old school, Mr. Charlie's around to fix that and everything. But those kind of things I'm looking at, getting this in, getting that shipped in, and all that other kind of stuff. That's easily that. I want to get my another deck put out in the back. Just like standalone stage.
Right.
Trying to figure that out. We're gonna finally try to get that pond in together and stuff. I let my kids know. Want y'all buy me a pond kit?
Right.
Like, hey, we make life easy.
Right.
Again, we're talking about things that threw off my budget in 2023. Guys, feel free to call in. The call in number 678-740-9894.
Let me ask you a question before you go any further and say hey to your mama too.
What's up, Mom?
Do you think that when people make budgets, they are unrealistic about like you just said, your plan? I'm not saying these are unrealistic goals for you, but they make unrealistic goals, and then what happens is they see themselves not really making any goals, so they just give up on all the goals.
I think for the most part, people they don't necessarily. I think for the most part, people have dreams.
Right.
And what I always say, like, anything you state without a plan is gonna be a dream.
Right.
Because again, the plan gonna make you accountable. Because once you get the plan, you already know. Again, we go back to what we said before earlier, like the save $6 grand, $500 a month. How much you gonna have to put into the side each month, each week, each day to kind of get to that. That's your plan to do that.
Right.
Hypothetically, just throwing it up, people will keep themselves unaccountable with doing certain things. So do I think I think people will keep themselves full of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
The dreams breed hope.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, be able to make things happen. That'd be the difference. But a lot of times, we'll just be able to make certain
Hope
things happen.
brings disappointment.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
like,
just
but
messing.
again, but that's that circle that goes over and over and over again.
Right.
But when you start making different changes in your life, you're gonna have to do some uncomfortable things to keep yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, hey, listen, I'm trying to save this to get this car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to save this money up and get my credit straight. And put the money to the side, get my credit straight so I can buy this house,
Right.
whatever. Now you're doing things, you know what you got to pay off each month
Mm-hmm.
to get the debt down, to get your credit score up, save up for the down payment. Now it's tangible.
Right.
We know what we're doing and stuff. So now that's it. You got to, it's no longer a dream. That plan, you putting things, you got it, the plan said, you also putting things into action.
Okay.
That's why those kind of things happen. But you just saying, oh man, I got to get my credit straight, I got to do this and I got to do that. It'll never change.
Oh,
It'll
okay. Never
You know what I'm
change,
saying?
yeah.
So that's important that people just give up on certain things. I think people keep themselves in a certain space because nobody wants to seem like a quitter.
Right.
But
right.
they'll leave it at a point where it's kind of, it ain't on them.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Right,
like, okay,
right.
cool. And, sometimes people, I was talking about this yesterday, funny you asked. I think a lot of times people play ignorant, and they think because they're ignorant, it takes away accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know. But at the end of the day, as a reasonable adult, why the hell you didn't ask?
Right.
Especially if it's something that you probably won't be responsible for.
If it's
you
your
say,
budget or whatever, right, yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it can be your budget, or you just say, okay, I didn't know, I had to have my credit straight. I didn't know they want a certain down payment.
Right.
But if you say you want the house, how the hell you didn't know? Why didn't you ask?
Right.
But that's why I say a lot of times people keep their ignorance. They, in their mind, ignorance takes accountability off of them, but it doesn't.
Right.
But that's what a lot of people do. They'll just not try to delve in and get informed about it, or show they weren't informed to take it off of them. But we do know as the older we get, it's silly to keep it that way. You know what I mean? Because again, you'll never be able to progress. If you want to,
Right.
or have certain things, until you start taking personal accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we were talking about the other week, like, hey, you got to do some uncomfortable stuff and be honest with yourself about what you did or didn't do, what you need to do or not, and everything. Stop worrying about. If you really want to know, you'll put upon yourself to be informed,
Right.
to find out what's going on, keep certain things in check. What's that Reek put up there?
Rika says, no, I see the price as I see the price, as I see it. So, like, if she sees something and she's thinking that it should cost $20, but it costs $25, she ain't getting it.
Well,
She already said in her mind what's the price going to be.
Well, you know what, but that's the thing. Well, when we're doing certain things, Reek crazy. But I'm talking, but when you on the side of your price, what you sell, not the consumer. But that's why I was saying, like,
No, she on the consumer side.
Yeah.
She go in the store,
Yeah.
and she see the price is $25, and she already said in her mind it's gonna be $19. She gonna pass that up, and I'm like, you can't tell these people what their price gonna be.
and that's fair. But that's why I say a lot of times when you're on the other side of it, trying to be a business person, you gotta stick with your thing. Like, they don't feel it. I told you I had that brother tell me that one time. He said, Deontay, I can't. What did he say? I can't. What was the damn word he used? But anyway, he was just saying that he couldn't. What it was? It was a book for bookkeeping. But he said he couldn't process or understand my price.
Right.
He said I can't. I forgot what the word he used. But he just like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I said, well, man, I ain't in it. I forgot the word.
Reconcile.
I wasn't reconciled, but I was just like, well, look, I ain't in that kind of business. I ain't in the convincing business.
Right.
I'm in the accounting business.
Right.
You ain't got to pay for it.
Right.
But that's what it costs. Because the work I'm doing, I don't give a damn if you don't want it. It's just like I can't see that.
Right.
That's cool. I mean, if he didn't respect the amount of work we were doing, he just couldn't. That was cool.
Right.
I wasn't telling him about, hey man, it's a t-shirt company. I ain't saying, look here, man, your shirts cost too much.
Right.
That's your price.
Right.
But I wasn't really finna wave on it.
Right. You want finna go down
Yeah,
the price. The price is the price, right?
And that's why a lot of times when people go into business, well, I'm gonna give you a fair deal, or they'll go in and say market price is $10. I'm gonna sell my shirts for $8. But if the market price is $10, but the cost to make a shirt is $5, and if I go down instead of making that $5 profit to a $3 profit, but in that $3 margin can't cover my actual operating costs, my rent, my insurance, and things like that. Who the hell I'm hurting?
Right.
In my mind, I'm thinking I got to I'm getting more and more people because I undercut somebody, but at the end of the day, I still can't pay my
You
expenses.
still can't make ends meet.
Exactly.
You need double the amount of people you would have needed if you would have kept the price the same.
A huge example is the tax bill.
Uh-huh.
Well, I ain't gonna charge what they charge doing it. You gotta do 3-4 times the work that I do for one person.
Right.
What's it used to get one person to get 4?
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
But it really comes down to you really knowing who you are.
And business.
You value yourself as much. You know what I'm saying? That undercut stuff. Shit, that ain't me.
That ain't
Like I said, that ain't me. But again, we're talking about what threw my budget off 2023. Feel free to call in, guys. Again, remember the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. We're talking about different things that got actual that can throw your budget off, and the things that have me in particular. And one big thing that I think it affected everyone, that being inflation. And inflation can affect the cost of goods and services, leading to increased expenses. Failure to account for inflation in your budget can result in diminished purchasing power over time. I would say this. I would just say probably outside the past 3 years, when you start looking at the past 10, 15 years, inflation wasn't necessarily an issue. You know, it might be a little 1 or 2% price increase, you know, but over the past, especially since the pandemic era, hyperinflation just not been something that people, you put a lot into.
Okay.
You knew each year it might be 1 or 2%. Don't be that much, marginal.
Right.
After a while, you can look back, well, back in the day we paid this, but, it really did a spike, especially talking about cars, homes, rent,
just food,
all
food,
all that kind of stuff. I mean, you see stuff double over the past 3 to 4 years, and that's one thing I think threw a lot of stuff off. Because I was talking about the debt, man, the price of lumber,
right?
Just went through the damn roof.
Yeah.
And I think
look at these home prices now.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that right now you probably can have a better gauge in regards to just say maybe 5% raise in prices for 2024 with certain things. But outside the past 2 or 3 years, man, that wasn't something you probably really thought about.
Right,
you probably
right.
just say, okay, it was $5 this year, might be $5.50 or $5.25, something like that.
Do you think the fact that the price did go up so dramatically? You say 5% or whatever. You say $5.50 or whatever. The price may go up to $5.50 for $5. But you think the fact that the prices went up so dramatically over the last couple of years really made people sit down and take notice? Because that's like you said, that's not something we really notice. You go to the store and buy a pack of chicken, and it's $10, and then next year or so it's $10.50. You're not noticing it. But if you buy it 1 year and it's $10, and the next year it's $22, you notice that difference.
When you say notice, what you mean? What do you mean?
The price. You notice the price of that particular item that you normally would buy for $10, $11 going up to $20, $22 in a year. It's a noticeable difference.
Shit, Lab, that damn in a week.
Right.
If it going up from $1, $2 loaf of bread, and whatever.
Right. But I'm just giving a general assessment of you said because we were going by the year.
If it's daily items, no, that's a fair point. But I think it's you're mindful. You probably answer the question, and I think I'm answering it. I think you're mindful now to be looking to see price spikes, see if things are going up. But I just think that's probably something you wasn't thinking about 3 years ago.
Right. That's why that's why we're thinking about it now.
Yeah, and you might not like it, but you kind of go in there brace forward and stuff like that. But that's why it's critical when we start looking at drafting a budget up. We say, okay, what threw my budget off? You need to make sure you might want to just say a 20% increase. You probably don't see double the price. That happened maybe early on, maybe a couple of years ago. But you're not gonna see probably that because the reason being is because the Fed they kept the rate the same, but with the rate increases the kind of prices start to stabilize. With everything, I would advise people start kind of looking at some of the economic news stuff. I know it's boring and shit, but
but you need to know if the Fed's gonna keep the inflation, the interest rate the same, or if it's gonna go up, because that affects a lot of things that you may budget for yourself in the future.
Yeah, and you know we.
A 0.5% is a lot of money when you're trying to buy a house.
Yeah, and also, guys, make sure you can go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. I did videos like what inflation is, how inflation impacts you. That video's on the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. You know, explaining inflation, how the cost of price, how it affects price and cost on certain items and services. But you need it behooves you to know. The average person is not going to go into it looking at it, but those actual inflation has to do with monkey wrench and a lot of folks stuff. Again, I don't. Prior to 2019, I don't think that was something you looked at, because again, you maybe like a little 2% increase.
Right.
Now it's totally different. Give yourself maybe 10 to 20%. If you don't, if the prices for certain products and services, especially start looking at food, things you use the most, food, gas is pretty much kind of been in the same little neighborhood. But definitely foods or certain thing repairs and stuff like that, kind of give yourself maybe 15-20% increase from the previous year to do that. And if you come up under it, good. But what you don't want to be is, we start talking them cost overruns with certain things. You got to kind of prep yourself for those particular things. And again, guys, when we don't want to try to take advantage of certain things, well, from a budgetary standpoint of writing this stuff down, that's what knocks us down all the time. And they keep us in the same cycle over and over and over again. Well, I'm going to try it again this year. I'm going to do it again this year. I understand stuff happens, but we want to mitigate the impact of the stuff.
Right, of the
right?
stuff.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff don't happen. But we got to control. We can't control we get sick. We can't control we get laid off. But we can try to have some kind of plans in place so when if or when it happens, it don't hurt us as much.
It don't hit us as hard.
Exactly. So that's why we want to do these particular things, guys, and have these uncomfortable conversations at home. Have these uncomfortable conversations and thoughts with yourself to plan accordingly. It's one thing to say, well, we're gonna pray it don't happen. The Lord ain't gonna do that. Well, the Lord gave you a brain, and
you might want to use it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Lord gave you some fingers. Go and type in Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube and look at some of them videos. Right. Absolutely. So just kind of keep that in mind. We start talking about inflation. We just mentioned a little while ago, another thing being interest rate changes. If the business or individual relies on loans or credit, fluctuation in interest rates can impact your borrowing costs. Changes in interest rate may lead to higher loan repayments, affecting any budget expenses. A key example of that, the SBA loan that I got about 7-8 years ago, I'm at the end piece of that, but it's the rate, the payment is always prime plus, and since the prime rate has been going up, so has my note. And it's been in that $50 to $70 range over the past couple months. But hell, that's still something you start looking at over the years. We're doing, especially kind of set with the amount of money you're paying out. You got to be prepared for certain things. That's why I say it kind of, you don't have to be an economic expert or anything like that, but kind of, dabble and try to see exactly how the interest rate, things like that are affecting you. Because some way, somehow, it is, right? We start looking at certain rate changes. You may say, well, listen, I'm not going to buy a house this year, I'm not going to buy a car this year, but some way, somehow, it affects you by, just rental fees. That being rent where you stay at, if you have to rent certain items, the actual fees, even with the grocery store, the actual cost that the transportation companies, they may incur, or even the people that facilitate the grocery store, just somehow indirectly, it will have some kind of impact on you. But it kind of behooves you to be somewhat knowledgeable a little bit on the way that interest rates will affect you. And again, we're talking about what threw my budget off in 2023. Some things that did happen, I know with that SBA loan from the business, it had a big spike, I think, back in the end of 22, and it kept going up. The note kept going up for probably about 3 or 4 months. And that was a little funky for me with doing that. I have really been where I wanted to try to do some things real estate wise. I ain't better do nothing because I'm not gonna purchase anything because where the rates are, the prices are, and everything like that. So that's throwing a couple of things off with doing it. Just me personally. But guys, I just want you to make sure you're being mindful when we start talking about things like the interest rates and things like that. Certain regulatory changes. Again, we're talking about things that threw my budget off in 2023. Regulatory changes in regulations, tax laws, or compliance requirements can have financial implications to your budget. fail to anticipate and adapt to regulatory changes can result in unexpected costs. Guys, especially if you're doing things, you're ordering certain things from overseas, shipping stuff, and you want to even mail certain things, or if you buy like an import or something like that, all this stuff can kind of throw stuff off because again, you got rate changes and tariffs. Stuff that may came from another country or maybe being shipped in, it throw a lot of stuff off, right? You know, especially if certain things because we're dealing in a flat economy now. What I mean by flat is, by using the web, I got access to stuff in Japan, Germany, South America, and all this other kind of stuff. We're operating on the web. The shipping costs and the the taxes that come from these particular places, they have they can have an adverse effect,
right,
on the end result that comes back to me. And I don't think a lot of people think about that. And those kind of things. You look at the war in Ukraine. It has an indirect effect on some of your fuel charges.
Right.
And even some of the imports you may have from over there. Even things that be for people living in that region.
And they don't even realize how much it affects until the price goes up on it, right?
Until the price goes up. And I always remember, guys, when we talk about economics, what's done today in December, you may not feel the impact till February or March. It's a ripple effect. It's like you throw the rock in the water. What's done today is not going to impact you tomorrow. What's done today, it's just like you throw that rock in the water and it's skipping. You see them ripples. That's how economic changes do. It's not immediately done. It's you see it in the spring or the summer and things like that. That's why a lot of times you see them presidents come in office. Some of them they'll take the blame for things that the previous administration might have did, and they take credit for good things that the previous administration did. But they hadn't that. It's just part of it, right? And that can be any kind of leadership, whatever. With doing those particular things, so just kind of keep those in mind with doing it. And again, we're talking about things that threw my budget off in 2023. Now, guys, feel free to call in. I know everybody didn't stay on their shit. I know.
Everybody was on budget this year.
Yeah, I know they wouldn't.
The budget was solid this year.
I know they wouldn't.
The budget was real solid this year, though. Don't do that to them.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you have a budget going in? Yeah.
I always have a budget.
So you kind of like off on it.
I always end up real off on it because what happens with me, and I'm not blaming anybody, it's totally my fault, is that I set myself up for a budget, but then other variables come in that I really don't account for. Like this year, my variables was my children and my mom always seemed to need something.
Gotcha.
And that was not a variable that I had counted on, for one. And for two, it was just a constant. Every week it was handout. And then it just was one of those things like, it was a lot. It was a lot. This year was a lot on me. So, not with just that, but it was just a lot on me in general.
Yeah.
So it just my budget just blew up. It was gone. It's like it's always gone. So I don't know. I think next year I will practice the word no a little better and just let them figure it out because, you know what I mean? Like, because it seems like the more I say to try to help, the more it sometimes it was all four of them in 1 week. You know what I mean? So it's like. It was like, what can I do here? You know what I'm saying? And there's money going out, but if I need something, I can't ask anybody.
Yeah.
I got to do it on my own. I got to figure it out myself. So it would be different if I had somebody say, hey, can you lend me a couple $100 until whenever? But I did not have that outlet. So as I'm sending money out, paying this and trying to help that, paying my bills and all that other stuff, there was no money coming in. Everything that I got was mine, and I had to figure out how to differentiate and separate it.
And it's funky because your life, you had to adjust it like it's not even a priority.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna be real with you. The thing with me was, I underestimated the impact of Chris going to school this year. I actually had the portion of the tuition allocated, but it's the other shit.
Right.
That and this money, that money, that money. I wasn't thinking about that. The tuition stuff. But now he out there on his own, and I had to get the car. Like, that wasn't forecasted.
You didn't think about that.
I ain't think about that.
Right.
And that kind of threw some stuff off. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was prepared for the tuition aspect. Again, guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. I was prepared for the school.
Mm-hmm.
But young adult on his own, I wasn't thinking about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he stay on campus, right?
He on campus, but then I got the car fixed.
Okay.
So I got the car fixed, and while I got it fixed, let me get the car painted.
Mm-hmm.
And the car got painted. And then I said, okay, now I got to put this car that was just sitting there. Shit. Now we talking about insurance costs, add another car. That's, hell, almost $180 a month on my car insurance.
Right, right.
So now you talking about all these other kind of things. Yeah, not and what a car, what come along with a car? Gas.
Right.
So all this stuff coming in, you feel me?
Right.
And I really didn't think about that. Now going into, my thing, what I did talk to Christopher. That's my third son. Just started a freshman at Clayton State. Real good kid, real sharp brother. But I did talk to Christopher. Let's go to the freshman year without working.
Right.
And next year, his ass got to work. That sophomore year, he got to do something.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? But that was my thing.
Offset the college.
Yeah, because it was my idea. Me and him sit there, had a real straight up conversation before he started college. Let's get used to being a student
at college.
Yeah,
because it's a different world.
Exactly. Because he was kind of like, "Hey, Dad, I can work here, I can work there. Let's get school out. Let's
fill it out first."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And me and him was on board with that idea, and I thought it was fair. With doing that, but I can't continue that because hell, Will gonna be out in a couple years. I can't do this shit because PJ does a pretty good job on his own and stuff like that. We got to kick this and kick that every now and then and stuff like that. But I didn't the tuition stuff. I was prepared for with Chris.
But the difference is your children are in school. Your PJ's in school. Chris is in school. They're in school doing better. Trying to do better things. My problem is my kids are 30 years old. I would feel different if they were all in school. It wouldn't be such an issue if they were all in school, like PJs and them age and stuff.
Yeah.
But once you get up 34, 33, 31 years old, like you don't expect to have to do those. You never budget for those things. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be real with you, Lab. I don't know. You see him talk all the time because we hear people all the time.
Right.
Generational wealth, and you raise your kids and give them the business. You don't know how the hell shit.
Right.
They can be in school, but that don't mean. You don't know.
Right.
I don't anticipate it. Like I'm sure you didn't anticipate it, but I don't damn know. So I understand where you're coming from, brother. But shit, would
you even budget that in? Like, would you expect that to happen? You know what I'm saying?
And I'm saying this too. We start talking about from a budgeting standpoint. This I ain't even got that on my list, but what you're talking about, it's kind of like a psychological thing. Because one part of you be saying what you just say with your kids or family member or close friend, like, man, I ain't got time for that.
Right.
But damn, do you want to see folk homeless? Do you want to see folk doing out? You might got something to mix called grandkids and all that kind of stuff pulling at your heartstrings. So you would say, okay, I didn't have a budget allocated to the side, but you don't know the impact of it. And that's that's what we see sometimes. They can fall kind of like in line with those unexpected expenses, unforeseen expenses. But I'm being real with you, brother. I ain't finna sit here and have that. Well, no, because in 10 years, I can be where you at, you can be where I'm at. They 40 something, they got together.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know, and that's the unfortunate part. That's why I say a lot of times with parents, little kids, well, if you do this, you do that, man, you don't know what the hell. You can have everything laid out. At the end of the day, still come down to the decisions they make.
Right.
You made every right decision, put them in every right situations, but it still come down to the decisions your children make.
Right.
And then it goes down to the decision you make on how you handle the situation.
Right.
Period.
Right. That's true. That's why I say I don't blame anybody else. It's all my fault.
Shit, I hear it all the time. Man, you don't know.
Right.
Raise them right. I ain't raise them wrong.
Nobody has children and say, you know what, I'm finna raise these mothers.
Let me tell you something. I got some great kids.
Right.
Great young men. Proud of all four of my boys. But if I see and tell you they ain't never did no stupid shit, they have me like, what the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I be lying.
Right.
I be lying. If I see and say they have not done that, they have me like, what the hell?
Right.
That have adversely affected my pocketbook? Yeah. That's why I say that to say I ain't raising to get into this, get into that, where that come from and stuff. So we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. I'm just being real with you.
I know it.
I don't want you to browbeat yourself, but I ain't the person to sit here and tell you like, well, yeah, shit. Our roles can be reversed in 10 years.
Right.
Don't anticipate it, but it can easily happen because again, they decision and how I move with it. If you choose to say, okay, well, look, I'm gonna help you out with this, that, and that. Your decision making may change. Like, look, man, I did it. I ain't doing this no more.
Right.
That always come, but it still depends on, you know what I'm saying, those.
Right.
You know,
but that's a budget thing that you can't. That's just something when we're talking about budgeting. That's just something you just don't foresee. Like you just don't foresee that being an issue, and an issue to a major part. You know what I'm saying? Then you throw your mom in there.
Man.
Then I threw my mom. My mom started asking. It's like, okay,
man,
you know,
I'm gonna tell you something, Lab, and I'm being real with you, man. You know, once y'all look at that first 48 when they get them folks in there interrogating, and the cat be know they'll kill some damn body. And I remember the lady in Birmingham, the sister, she's like, look, you know your mama and your grandma ain't got no damn money.
Right.
You need to go on and just stop this. Somebody ain't waste no money doing this kind of stuff. You know you did it.
Right.
And now they got to mortgage off the house and sell all this stuff because of the decision you made.
Right.
And those kind of things that you just think about, like you just said, now we got to get this kid an attorney. Now we got to get all this other kind of stuff because somebody else bad decision.
Right.
No way in the hell. We trying to say and go on a cruise.
Right.
Stack up at 401k.
We trying to retire good in good space.
Now you
I'm not trying to be working to 80.
Exactly. Now you cashing in your retirement and all this other stuff to pay for an attorney.
Right.
You know what I mean? It happens. And like I said again, what they choose to do, how you choose to handle it. You know, and that's just how they, you know, again, I don't know if either one of them wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, well, you know, well, because that's the thing about it. I'm dealing with something now with a family member, and I've been a real N-word.
Right.
Like, hey, man, look, I got too many responsibilities.
Right.
With my children.
Right.
I ain't got time to help no grown person off decisions they make.
Right.
I can, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, you're not being the real N-word. You are being realistic to the fact. You are being like what we always say. You can argue an opinion, but you can't argue facts. This is your decision that you made that you want me to correct.
Irrefutable. And
right.
Because what we talked about before, just being accountable, folks don't want to be accountable for their actions. So I just, you know, again, man, hey, don't browbeat yourself up like that because again, that's very common. And you know, again, and that's one thing.
But it did throw my budget off. I mean, it threw it off so severely. I mean, it threw it off so severe. I mean, it seemed like it just started and just spiraled out of control. You know what I mean? So that's what threw my budget off. That really threw me off.
Well, just take consideration. Christopher's driving now, and him and Will went to go ride the other day, and I'm telling Chris, he's sitting there looking like I'm throwing off his damn. I'm doing something his to curtail his adulthood.
Right.
Brother, you have no income. If you do something wrong,
right,
it comes back to me.
And
you gonna walk off.
Right.
You gonna walk off.
Right.
Can't go to your mama. I can't go to nobody. You gonna walk off, and I'm gonna be stuck with it. I hope Chris is looking. And we sitting here like, look, I'm not wavering on this.
Right.
Bro, I'm gonna give you some rope. But you gonna play with this rope I give you.
Right.
I can't give you the whole yard.
Right.
I can't.
I can't make you a cowboy.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times people don't have nothing to lose or no skin in the game. They don't give a damn.
Yeah.
So you gotta be mindful of that.
Yeah.
That's all of us. You know, and everything like that. Cause he's saying, hey, go out there and do this. Bump into somebody, tow it up, they walk away. And I'm still stuck with a bill. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those kind of things gotta kind of be looked upon with that and stuff. And our kids and people that are close to us, especially family members, close friends, because they feel, I'm the wrong one to feel that way, we ain't gonna sue them or do something like that.
Right.
They do shit like that all the time.
Or they feel that they can pull on your heartstrings and feel like, oh, he ain't gonna say no.
Yeah. But you don't think I'll sue you? I thought you said something. Oh, okay. That I wouldn't sue you. Hey, don't worry about it, Will. Don't worry about it. Yeah, there you go. That's why you the baby boy.
Right.
No. Come on, get that. We get in line. But again, we're talking about things that threw my budget off in 2023. Just going through a list of couple things that you guys can look at and consider. Again, not to actually avoid planning or anything like that, but help you with your, in regards to your strategy of doing certain things. Feel free to call in. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 740-9894. The next one I have is, being turnover, just with jobs. High turnover rates can lead to increased loss of income, or even from a business standpoint, recruitment and training costs. Additionally, losing experienced employees may impact the productivity and efficiency, affecting overall operational costs. And also, you losing your job individually, it can throw off anything as far a lot of things in regards to you being able to pay your personal expenses.
That's true.
Remember, we started talking about just from just being a business owner. We were looking at certain things. We discussed the nationwide labor shortage. Now people say, well, you can get people. People have all kind of ideas. We can hire somebody and get somebody that. Hey man, there's a lot of people don't want to damn work. And the ones that want to work, they want to work the way they want to work.
And when they want to work.
Exactly. Because one thing Uber and Lyft did, they changed the game. Whereas before when you were in a part-time job, you kind of really had the mercy of the job,
right?
When the availability, shit, you don't want to roll over and make some money in the middle of the night.
Just get up,
you can go get up and do that,
right?
And that changed the game with a lot of stuff, right? And so now you start looking at businesses now. It's like, look, I got, you got people that want money, but they don't necessarily want to work. That makes sense. And so you kind of at the mercy of a lot of stuff, man. The actual talent pool that's in the employment ranks is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough, and people really have to, rethink a lot of ways they have to actually go about before having employees, and people actually rethinking the ways they go about working for companies. Because again, it ain't nothing for folks to lay folks off and do certain things now. Ain't no damn pity
at all.
At all. So it's real funky and everything. I ain't never been a person to. Anybody knows, I ain't never been a person to push entrepreneurship and everything like that, because I know how tough it is, and everything like that. But I always tell people, be realistic about certain things. Unless you're working for pretty much some old bureaucracy, government agency, some probably even, I wouldn't necessarily say Fortune 500 companies, but usually kind of those old bureaucracies, maybe the railroad, any kind of government agency, stuff like that, you really don't have layoffs. They may have certain things. What's the thing they had at the government when they do the furloughs? There you go. They may have a furlough where they kind of stop it and they pay you all your money back when you can get that for a couple months. But anytime you have some old structure thing, you don't have to worry about that. But outside of that, anything private, shit.
Slick say Uber made people lazy.
Hey, I mean, definitely. And you start looking at it ain't just Uber. You can Airbnb an extra room. Just so from a technology standpoint, hey man, I got the extra rooms in the back of my house. I'm gonna just rent those out. Hell, you see people now in the damn new car. They delivering UPS and
that's what Slick just said. Slick said Uber gave them cars,
man,
and then you just ride enough to pay your car note.
Hey man, I'm talking about. I've been picked up in some damn Teslas, Mercedes,
right,
Jaguars. I'm talking about, like, why the hell are you putting this mileage on this damn? Like, these cars are really not meant for what you're doing.
Right. Constant driving.
Exactly. Right. These cars are not meant for that. Real talk, Lamb.
Right.
Real talk. And so you see they put some wear and tear on a car that ain't. And so I ain't stupid. I know why you're doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know somebody else might chime in. That ain't why this, that, and that. But those cars are not meant. Those aren't start and stop cars and stuff like that. Some of them cars, especially them luxury cars. Nah, you really tearing that shit up doing that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I know why they're doing it.
Right.
But again, that's a whole nother show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the new year.
Well, say, Poochie, would you Airbnb? Nah, I don't want to. I mean, nah, I don't want to do that. I barely want to be a damn landlord. You know what I'm saying?
See,
Shit.
that's walking the tightrope right there.
Nah. Hell
So you don't
no.
want to do that every weekend.
No, no, I don't want to. I don't even have that. You know, no. Hell, I'm no. Taxes and YouTube. Taxes and YouTube.
That's it.
You know, that is it. You know, we can do some accounting, we can do some consulting, but all the other stuff, nah, I ain't that dude no more.
You don't have that energy no
Hell
more.
no. Or interest.
Oh, interest. Okay.
Whatsoever, guys. Again, we've been talking about what through my budget of 2023, going through the different list of things that can help you mitigate or avoid certain things happening in 2024. The next one being unrealistic assumptions. Budgets based off overly optimistic assumptions such as overly high sales projections or unrealistic low costs can set the stage for disappointment and financial challenges. I'm going to tell you something, guys. Hoping and praying things are gonna be the best, because that's one of the biggest things that kill a lot of these businesses that start up. They, number one, don't even forecast a plan. The startup, that don't even happen. The planning and stuff don't even happen. They just open up.
Right.
They just open up. They get what they need to open up, projections and planning down. Look at that, and you will be amazed. And I'm just giving you guys some little free information. When you're an entrepreneur, true entrepreneurs, I ain't talking about nobody got a damn LLC paperwork. But true entrepreneurs look at cost first. We don't look at price. We look at cost first.
Right.
What is it going to cost me to do this? And then from that point, can I charge a price to cover the cost?
Right.
We don't look at, I can make $10,000. You're a true entrepreneur. And that you might not started off one, you don't win, got some, but you season, you look at cost first.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, do it make sense for me? I'm going to give you an example. I ain't going to say no names. I've been on boards where they were talking about having different galas and stuff. Now, if you know anything about a gala can run you anywhere from, just say $25,000.
Okay.
Just say 25 rented, AV, speakers, lights, music, 25 grand.
Right.
You got your ticket sales set up, depending on who you market your ticket sales to, this, that, and that. You might do your ticket sales, and they bring in $30,000.
Okay.
Right? You done
Okay.
got your ticket sales. And you've made netted what? $5,000. Deontay will come up, hey, why don't we go to Walmart and buy 3 55-inch TVs, sell raffle tickets, and make $5,000.
Right.
That's how I think. Because at the end of the day, it don't make sense to incur that amount of risk to make $5 grand. But I can just take a little bit of risk
And make $5 grand. Right.
Man, when I tell you I get looks like, who does MF think he is?
Right.
That sounds simple, don't it? Like?
It does.
So, but when you start looking at those unrealistic expectations, like, we ain't going to make them but that.
Right.
But a lot of times people get what? Traffic confused with profit.
Right.
We busy. You see a lot of these restaurants with these lines around
Around busy,
the corner
right.
and all that stuff. Oh man, they doing this, that, and that. But people don't understand cost. I'm not saying these places ain't making money, but I am saying that we know it's only 30% is profit you make on food. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. I mean, everywhere ain't Roof Chris.
Right.
Real talk now.
And he had to establish that. He probably wasn't doing it at the beginning.
Hey, real talk now.
Right.
Real talk. Don't get it twisted. Like sometimes people have to look at those particular things just because you see certain things get made. A $5 plate of chicken really ain't bringing home nothing. But maybe let's say $1.50. Maybe scratch it at almost $2.
Right.
So they ain't making that kind of money off of it. That's just the game. Now I'm privy to this information because I'm an accountant.
Right.
But a lot of times people get in, well, I can buy this and do that. Hey man, it's a cost.
Right. I'm gonna give you a good example of this business that we do. You see people, they got the $3,000 cameras and all that expensive computer equipment, and they doing exactly what me and you are doing right now. They got the $5,000 switcher and all that old other stuff and the rigs and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, you got 4 shows on your station. They gotta be paying you, and they got a space they gotta pay rent on and insurance. So they gotta be paying you $5,000, $500 a show to make ends meet on all the stuff that you got.
Which ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Which ain't gonna happen. And they turn around and buy a good 1,000 views, with one comment. You know,
Right,
about
right.
fake shit. You know what I'm saying? With all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But it looks easy.
Mm-hmm.
It looks easy, and that's why a lot of times people get caught up because everybody, mama want a podcast and do all
Right.
this kind of stuff now. Then we get into it like, hey man, you know,
Cause
where
they
the money
think
at?
instant fame.
Yeah, where the money at? You know, and that's the unfortunate part. What a lot of stuff. Most people don't want to go through the rigors of certain things or going through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But doing again, what
They don't want to start smart. They don't want to start small and upgrade as they can. They want to start big. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know why? Because they think it's easier than what it is.
Right.
That's what that's why. Because we can go get our own mics, we can do this. We're gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get more expensive stuff and everything like that. But that's why I always say a lot of times we got to recoup that cost.
Right.
You already got your running costs with doing it,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's costing me $500 a show. I'm billing it like you said $550. So I'm making $50 a show. But I already got $3,000 in equipment.
Right.
So I'm covering this. Then I got to make that back. But that's a lot of full heads.
Right.
Next thing you know, they pulling, you know, they rent money, car note money, retirement money to keep that stuff open because they don't want to seem like a failure to people.
Right. Right.
And damn near when all that stuff gone, that's when they close the business out. Man, you gotta avoid that shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You gotta avoid
Cost,
that.
the people don't equate for the cost overruns.
No.
They don't equate for like talking about getting space and stuff. I'm like, man, I don't want to pay rent, light bill, gas bill, you know, all the stuff that comes with it, then insurance and all that stuff, because we don't make the money to cover that. So we have to do it the way that we have to do it. You get what I'm saying? I know. I mean, I didn't go to college just to sit there. I learned something. I'm not an accountant, of course, like the great Poochie Burton is, but I know a few things about numbers, and I've done this for shopping centers and shopping malls and stuff. I know what the cost is going to be. It's going to be astronomical to what we make.
But shit, like what you saying? Hell, we know arithmetic. 1 plus 1 is 2.
Right.
5 minus 4 is 1.
Right.
You don't need a damn degree to know that. But people don't want to find them numbers out.
Right.
That's the issue.
Right.
That's the issue. It's not that people want to find them numbers out. Again, we're talking about what threw my budget off in 2023, and we're going to the last thing that I think one of the most important things that people need to take consideration of, things that can throw your budget off as we're getting ready for going to 2024, that being economic uncertainty. We kind of scratched on the surface just a little bit earlier. And we know economic uncertainties, being recessions or global or economic downturns, can impact consumer spending, market conditions, and overall business performance. Guys, one thing you got to understand is that, you know, when we start seeing certain things coming out on the other side of the world, you know, maybe the Middle East can affect fuel prices, certain parts where we had the like, what was the thing that was affecting a lot of auto parts?
Oh, the chip.
The chip.
Chip
Oh,
manufacturing.
Was that last fall?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was-
Chip manufacturing where you wouldn't get,
Yeah, the chip manufacturer that was doing
And that
that.
was not only cars, that was so many things was
Yeah.
affected by that chip now.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Those kind of things, man. Again, you be thinking like that. You looking at the news, but you really don't understand the actual impact that can have on you and your lives. And you didn't forecast for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things. What was that Slick saying?
How can you have a spot and you don't pay for where you at now?
Right.
Be nice.
Be nice.
And to mitigate these risks, it's crucial to regular review and update your budget. Conduct scenario planning, build contingency funds, and stay informed about factors that can impact your financial conditions. Be proactive and flexible in your budgeting approach will help you in your business and navigate unexpected challenges. And again, it's applicable to everything on your personal side as well. Guys, you gotta be proactive and plan. Remember what I said. A plan that ain't wrote down with the numbers and stuff in there is just a dream.
It's this idea.
Yeah, and if you're not gonna sit here and be accountable for that kind of stuff, that's on you. But at some point, you're gonna sit here and I didn't know. Nobody told me. It ain't gonna go so far.
Right.
Cause I say again, one of the biggest things I've seen personally in my life, adults that I've had to deal with, where they think I didn't know, nobody told me, is an actual fair response. No. Why the hell you didn't ask?
Right.
Why the hell you didn't look?
Right.
I mean, I actually have this conversation with somebody damn near on a weekly basis.
I didn't know.
Well,
Right.
nobody told me I didn't know that. How you didn't ask?
If it's a part of what you got going on a daily basis, how you didn't ask?
I'm very hard on my boys about thinking. And before you say something that you know Daddy might say is stupid,
think about it.
Think before you. When I say stupid, I mean the whole point. I look at it like, don't give me no BS excuse. Don't give me that. Think before you say something to me, so I don't flip the hell out. And it's not to be mean to them, but one thing I do encourage with all my children: think.
Right.
Because nobody gonna sit here and they don't want to hear BS excuses. Because at the end of the day, your problem is your problem. You're gonna be stuck with your problem until you fix your problem.
Slick say people don't know the importance of a budget. Do you think that's the case?
No, they don't know the importance of it. I think really people stay away from certain things again to alleviate in their minds
pressure,
responsibility.
Well, or when you make a budget, you really see how much you have coming in and going out.
But that's my point.
And you start saying, "Well, I ain't making it to go out."
But that's why I don't want to do it because now once I know, I'm accountable for it. Right. But in my mind, I didn't know. You can sit here and say, "Well, I didn't know," and think that's a
viable
justifiable excuse.
Right.
But it's not.
Right.
It is for William. I think for PJ and Chris. My oldest son, no. And not that he ain't never said it, but I'm just saying, no, hell no. Why the hell you don't know?
Right.
But far too often people, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's why a lot of people do have accountability issues. Because they don't want to take ownership of certain things in their lives. And that's why we have a lot of information that's on the YouTube channel. They actually help you mitigate those particular things. And like I said, the book will be out at the beginning of the year, guys. I will have in-depth information on how to set your budgets up, examples of budgeting and stuff with the book. I will announce everything, before the year's out, so I'm super excited about that. We're getting that together, so be on the lookout for more information regarding that, okay? But listen, we're finna wrap everything up. We got our last show for next year, where we talk about how to, set your goals and everything for 2024. Everyone, have a very safe and Merry Christmas. I hope you guys got everything that you want, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't, just go buy some mistletoe. So you get you some nice sugar,
right,
and everything. Well, you know what mistletoe is?
Yes.
What's mistletoe?
It's a decoration that two people accidentally. Well, it's just a decoration that people hang up to I think it's okay. It's a decoration that people hang up to when a person when two people accidentally walk inside the door, accidentally buy together, they gotta kiss each other.
You made that a whole lot more difficult than it need to be. You ain't gotta accidentally. I mean, you can go to school and say, "Hey, girl, this is mistletoe," and give them some sugar. That's what you can do.
Girl, you can't do it now. Yeah. You can't do that now. But when we were going to school, you could do that, but not now.
Gotta call in. Thanks for calling $1. Who am I speaking with?
This is Tree.
Hey, what's going on, Tree? You want to add anything to the conversation? What's going on?
I did. I wanted to just chime in real quick and say what threw off my budget for 2023.
Okay.
I didn't have one.
Well, you know what? That would cause a problem.
Absolutely. And I think I'm going to adopt your producer's philosophy and learn how to say no more in 2024. And I just wanted to shout out to you and say I really do enjoy watching your shows, and I look forward to seeing how to get my budget started for 2024.
Okay, cool.
So I'll keep watching.
Cool. I appreciate it. The book will be out beginning. I appreciate you calling. The book will be out in the beginning of 2024. But one of the key things I will say, just in regards to the budget, because we all gonna have those things in our life that are gonna pop up and throw things off. They can be, health related, job related, family, kid related, all that kind of stuff. It happens, right? It happens to everybody. But definitely, you want to make sure you got those numbers wrote down and being realistic of how certain numbers, what's priority, what isn't priority. What can we let certain things go down? But definitely the most important thing with a budget is writing stuff down, right? And just planning accordingly from there. But as long as you get started with that, it ain't gonna be easy. And you gotta kind of have discipline and things like that. But definitely going in 24, make sure you start working on that. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Nah, I appreciate you and everything. You make sure you have a happy holiday as well. Okay.
Thank you. Same to you all.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, cool. Before we close it up, anybody else want to call in? Glad that happened.
Right.
And where you got your budget set for next year? Do you think you'll have your budget ready for 24?
Yeah.
Things you want to actually have save a little money, want to have saved up? Think you'll have that together? What about you, Lab? Think you'll be working on it?
I'm gonna work on it. I've already started working on it. Man, them variables. It seems like them variables be astronomical. And then, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, before we end it, I get a bug in my ass and I'll be like, I deserve something. And I'll buy something, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's more to just working and paying bills. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel that way. I honestly feel like all I do is work and pay bills. Like, I'm not built for that anymore. I used to be that way when I was with my, you know, had my kids and I was married and all that stuff now. But at 53, I'm like,
well, let me say this to you.
and this is just my philosophy. It's just me.
No. I'm not finna tell you what not to do, but I will say this. And I understand, we work hard, we want to be able to enjoy our money. But the thought process should always kind of help you with certain things is, if I get this, it may have a positive impact on me today, how I feel.
Right.
But is it gonna have a negative impact where I can't enjoy it tomorrow? And if you can kind of look at it like that, then that might be because in regards to things you won't be able to do to get this, or can you enjoy it?
I've done that because it's a lot more stuff I've been wanting to buy that I said, no, what, I don't need that. That's not going to really help me out later. But I don't know. I don't know. You know, I've been doing this for a long time with this build and working and stuff like that, and it's just like it wears you down after a while. Let's say last see me looking at the budget and walk right out the room. I do, because if anybody's a ass when it comes to bills and budgets, it's her.
Okay. On top of it. On top of it.
Right.
Well,
on top of it, but just an ass.
Yeah. Well, I get it.
And I'm not that person. I'm not. You know, I always say I'm a pay it, but I'm gonna try to do the best I can. I'm not an overzealous asshole about the budget. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna be that way. I try to do my best to make it happen, but that one right there, I don't even talk to her about bills. Like it's like I don't want to deal with that.
Well, everybody know that's my reputation. Everybody know Poochie cheap as hell. Poochie this, that, and that. That's why a lot of times I've probably been lady treasurers and stuff like that, because I stick strictly with what the budget said for the money being allocated. But I will say this: we do know we gotta have, things in life gonna kind of throw little wrenches at us,
right?
And we do need to be able to enjoy our money. So I am a firm believer that living below your means, you damn near ain't gonna have shit. So, I get that part.
Right.
And that ain't gonna necessarily make life enjoyable.
Right.
If you turn around living below your means and you just really just getting the bare minimum, you might not, but you gotta be realistic. And when your goals, like, you gotta treat yourself every now and then. From a life cycle. Now, if you don't need it, you don't need it.
Right.
But from a psychological standpoint, you gotta treat yourself. And that needs to be part of your budget.
Right.
That needs to be part of your budget.
And this start, like I said, I start out that way, but the variables just man, this year the variables have been a lot and no reprieve, no quarter given. You know what I'm saying? So, then you start looking at things like you just said, if something happens, it's on me. I have nobody I can fall back on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on me. Like, all this stuff is on me. I have no one, and I think about that. Like, I have no one I could say fall back on, so that adds more pressure on the more stuff, and then you just get tired. A lot of that stuff wears you out mentally.
Shit, you gotta tell me, bro. But look, we're gonna make sure 2024 is gonna be much, much better and everything like that, and we know we might have I know me personally, but like I said, I'm going through stuff right now. Like, look, man, I'm trying not to cuss and raise hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're gonna expect the best.
Right.
And everything. But guys, definitely, I hope you guys enjoy your Christmas holiday season. If you haven't, go buy you some extra mistletoe. And William said accidentally. I thought you was a bird, but we ain't accidentally waving it, baby. We're getting it over the head. Over the head, son. Come here, girl.
Right.
My baby looking at me like this. My dad, my dad,
Nah,
my dad,
not
my dad.
today's society. You can't just do that, Dad.
My baby looking at me like dad.
Right.
No dad. Yeah. But definitely, guys, enjoy your holiday and everything. And I appreciate all the love and support with everything. I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Love y'all. Have a Merry Christmas, and I will talk with you soon.